In fact, I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to dip that brush in some of the hops. So, here comes the stench. So here we go. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get some of those hops on the brush. There we go. I just got a tiny bit on there because you don't, like I said, you don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to like die here from chemical. So stuff's extremely strong. So now I'm just gonna brush down there like that. And you can't see me right now, but what I'm actually doing is I'm staying back because I don't want this stuff to shoot up in my eye or anything. So make sure if you're agitating stuff with a brush, you don't get spray. So actually, you probably should be wearing protective glasses. I don't, just because I'm very careful. But you still, you really gotta watch it with that, because that stuff's bad. Trust me. So give it a little brush agitation there. Now, it's a lot cleaner. Should be good to go. Okay. So, I've cleaned kind of the main area of the slide here. What I'm going to do is I am going to grab another Q-tip, and I'm just going to kind of go over this part down here one more time, make sure everything's out of there. Because I noticed I left some stuff behind there. There we go. Get a residual out of there. Okay. So I'm done cleaning this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this area down. And now I'm going to clean the actual barrel. And the way I do that is I grab this bore stake thing here. I'm just going to move this back from this angle here. And I grab this bore stake and I spray it like this. I usually spray a little bit in that area, and then I spray a little bit more over in this area, the thicker area here. So I sprayed some in this area, and then I sprayed some over here in this area. And then what I do is I just go ahead and snake it through in one direction like this. Snake it through just like this. And you just pull it pretty hard. And just pulls those brushes through and the rest of the snake. And then I do it again. And you're always supposed to go in the direction that the bullet would travel, because it can mess with the rifling inside the barrel if you don't do that. So and usually the second time it's a lot easier to pull through. So yeah, I do it twice this time just because this barrel is not extremely dirty. And then what I do is I look in the barrel and make sure that there's no dirt still left in there usually. It's easier to see in person probably than it was on the camera just then. So yeah, so I've cleaned my barrel. I've cleaned the slide. In fact, I need to finish a couple areas up here. As you can see, this it could be a little bit detail oriented or temperamental. I'm trying to clean some of these areas just because they're they're not the easiest in the world to clean. But they have the tools for that. So So anyway, what I did tell you is I would show you this tool I have that I use to. Sometimes I'll use these little cotton patches and I'll put it through one of these tools. So this is it right here. I can't remember the technical name for this tool, but what it is that you basically, it's just a loop and you just put a cotton patch in through there, like this. I'll show you. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so you put a patch through like that, and then you pull it. And now you've kind of got this, you know, this kind of like cotton swab thing. And what you could do is, what I'm actually going to do, is I'm going to go through the barrel, once again in one direction only, and I'm just going to twist it. I'm going to keep twisting it all the way through the barrel slowly. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because it's going to dry up some of that excess lubrication that was in that bore snake. And then you pull it out over here, because once again you don't want to go in the opposite direction. So pull it out over there, and then do it one more time. Or in fact, you know what? It doesn't. I usually will check it, and right now it doesn't feel like it really needs one more time. So I'm good there. Because, like I said before, you don't want to have too much lubrication on the gun. Now, the last part here I'm going to show you is the rest of the gun here, just like the frame. And usually what I'll do with this is, I don't know if it's easy to see, but there's kind of like these little speckles, particles, and greasy areas on this gun here. And so what I'll do with this usually is I'll go ahead and spray it down and wipe it down a bit. Actually, in fact, what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually just going to use the hops cleaner, so I don't have to spray, because I don't like when the spray goes down into all those crevices sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use some of the hops cleaner. So I'll pull out another cotton patch. Make sure you guys are using clean patches too, because you don't want to put dirt back into the gun. It's never a good idea, no matter what you're cleaning, really. I mean, a lot of people think that, oh, it's just a gun, or oh, it's just my car. But you got to realize that cleaning is cleaning. You're taking dirt off of things. You're not trying to put dirt back on things, and it really does make a difference when you use a clean tool or a clean towel versus a dirty one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do is just open this hops up again, which actually I don't like having it open very long, so I'm gonna speed this up real quick. And I put a good amount on there, actually. I'm probably going to smell it my whole house now. So, I put that out there, and now I'm just going to rub it down. And you can see it already took some dirt off, and I barely even touched it. So I'm going to rub it down, clean it off. And once again, like I said, you don't want to get too much of this on your hands, so I'm going to try to not do that. So you can see pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm just rubbing it down, and then what I'll do is I'll use the Q-tips in the rest of the areas if I need to that are smaller. But there's really not too many areas back here on this part of the gun, so just go ahead and rub it down like that, and then what you do is just if you need to, you put some lubrication on there, and then you'll be all done. And then you just put the gun back together. So maybe in another video I'll cover lubrication, but this is basically a typical cleaning of a SIG Sauer. It's pretty simple, something you do right after the range. Not the biggest cleaning in the world, but it is a cleaning, and it will get the gun cleared so that it won't be jamming and stuff. And once again, really the fundamentals of lubrication is really easy. Basically, you just don't want to over lubricate. You want to put very thin coats. So in other words, if I was spraying and using this right here as lubrication right now, I would just spray a tiny bit in the area and I just rub it. And then as soon as you'll be able to, you can put your finger on there real quick and you can feel how it's kind of slick, then that's good enough. That's all you need. So that's really the key to lubrication and lubricating the gun. What I actually do is I use this, I occasionally use this stuff. It's called Milcom, and it came with the gun. I'm trying to find it right now. Actually, oh, it's over here. Fell out earlier, but yeah, it came with my gun. Probably if you have a SIG Sauer, it might have come with yours as well. You just use a tiny bit of this, and I'll just put it on each rail of the slide, and then I'll either kind of work it in, by hand, or what I'll do is I'll just rack the slide a whole bunch of times, and it will kind of rub itself in, and it will lubricate the rails of the slide so the slide works properly. But you just put a tiny bit. I'm talking about like a little droplet, like literally, of something like this on each rail, and that's it. Don't like put a whole bunch on the bottom, a whole bunch on the top, because what happens then is it just gets over greased. It's a mess. It slings the crap all over the place, and the gun might not operate properly. So be careful. Don't over lubricate your gun. Trust me. I mean, you don't want to mislubricate it altogether, but just make sure, if you just lubed it up a little bit, then that's probably good enough. Okay? So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have learned something. In fact, I'm sure you have, especially if you're still watching, because that means you're probably pretty new to cleaning a SIG Sauer. So anyway, have a great day. Thank you. Bye.